I knew him through personally. The first time I met with him, it was outside the mosque, and some friend of mine introduced me to him.
What were your impressions the first time you met him? Do you still remember to this day meeting him?
Yeah, sure. I can't forget this moment. The impression was that I meet now with a guy who has extremely strong beliefs in what he's doing, a person who has a very big vision for Islam at that time, and you just feel he is a man who has very strong beliefs in what he's doing.
Did you have any idea 25 years ago, Dr. Hamid, that he would rise to be Al-Qaeda's number 2 and to plan all of these violent acts around the world?
I did not expect this man particularly to be at that level and to organize this specific attack. But I predicted that there will be a major attack on New York City on the Twin Towers 2 years before it.
Did you?
Because of,
but let's stay, if you could, please, Dr. Hamid. Let's stay back when you actually were in regular contact with al-Zawaheri.
Yes.
Did he talk about violence at that time? I believe you mentioned that he was talking about terrorism even back in the late 1970s. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was he talking about? When you say he was talking about terrorism, do you remember specifically what he was telling you?
Yeah, the first time he said to me, people like the Islam depends on people like you to dominate and to return back the Islamic Khilafah to us, which is the Islamic-controlled empire by Sharia law. This was his dream, and he said it clearly. And in his lectures later on, which I attended in the Mosque of Jamma'a Islameia in the medical school and somewhere else as well, he mentioned many times that the only path to satisfy God and the highest among the good deeds is to do jihad, and we are at war with Christians and Jews and all the infidels or non-Muslims. So this was the style of talking continuously, incitement against the non-Muslims and stimulating you to hate them. And once you started to hate someone, also the violence comes. So it was the main theme of his talks was the violent form of jihad. He was not talking, for example, about simple things in Islam like to fast or to do the prayers. He was not talking at this small level. He was talking always about this violent jihad and how we have to consider ourselves at war with you or with the West.
Yeah, we are chatting with Dr. Tawfik Hamid. He is a former member of Jamma'a Islameia, a terrorist group, and he joins us on the Voice to America program. Is the United States winning its war on terrorism?
It's a very interesting question, really. It's and important. The United States can slow down the process, can like make it a bit suppressed, but I am afraid that a coming attack can be catastrophic.
What, Dr. Hamid? Since 9/11, over the last 3 or 4 years, what has George Bush done correctly in addressing Al-Qaeda and this terrorism on a global scale? What has he done right?
Number one, what George Bush did correct was that he used power immediately with Afghanistan to show them that they are weak. And once they felt that they are weak, Islamism and the whole phenomena of violent Islam can start to go down. And also the war on Iraq, I consider destroying Saddam Hussein in this humiliating manner was important to change the psychology and mentality of Muslims so that they accept some form of reformation, which is starting now, I hope so.
Hold on, Dr. Hamid, let me be clear, because this is a very important point at this time, especially to an audience in the United States and in Europe. As I'm sure you're well aware, even though you're not in the United States, as I'm sure you're well aware, there is a significant debate that has been ongoing and will continue into the future about whether Iraq was the right move for the United States to do and whether it is right for it to continue its military action there. You believe that going into Iraq and removing Saddam Hussein had a significantly positive impact for the United States' position on these terrorists?
Certainly, yes. Because when Taliban was collapsed, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Muslims were even laughing about the United States, saying Taliban is weak, and they don't have any army, and thus they didn't feel the weakness that was necessarily to start a process of reformation. We have totally different psychology from you. Muslims feel the power of Taliban, the power of Saddam Hussein, and when Taliban collapsed, they start to gather around an idol called Saddam Hussein. They start to talk about him positively in their private talks as a leader of Islam. They want a leader. They wanted a powerful leader.
But Dr. Hamid, let me jump in here and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is where I don't understand it. Saddam Hussein was not a Muslim leader. Wasn't he a secular leader? Why would the Muslims rally to Saddam Hussein?
Yeah, but in the last 10 years, for example, if you still remember the first war, the Kuwaiti war, when Saddam invaded Kuwait, he called it Badr War. Badr is the first Islamic war against the infidels. So he started to behave in a bit Islamic manner to gather people around him. But at the end, even if he was secular, when Muslims do not find a leader like Bin Laden anymore, or Taliban, they start to gather about any Muslim called Muhammad, or anyone belongs to Islam, but is in a powerful position. This is our psychology. So Muslims actually started to feel that Saddam is powerful, and he was giving them the psychological satisfaction that Islam is still winning and is still victorious.
Okay, Dr. Hamid, then assuming Osama bin Laden is alive today, what impact would his capture or death at the hands, say, of the West have on the terrorists?
I do believe it was like a knockout. It will have great impact on terrorism. It will take it down, maybe not immediately, okay? But overall, it will have the greatest impact ever on fanatical Muslims and Islamists generally. It will be the greatest thing to happen if they caught Bin Laden. I do believe it will be the greatest thing that can happen in our history at the moment.
Who is America's enemy in this war on terror?
The current teaching of Islam. I'm not saying Islam, I'm not taking the current interpretation and teaching of the Islamic texts. It is extremely violent, it creates violence in people, it creates hatred, and this is your real enemy.
Who is the terrorists' real enemy?
Freedom is their enemy, freedom of the West, because it is against their totalitarian system. This is what we hated in you when I was in the Jamma'a Islameia. This is what made us hate you, is your freedom. You have freedom and liberty, and you respect women, you respect gays, you respect any human being, but we don't. We allow beating women, we allow killing gays, so the freedom you have is what we really hated in you.
Why are you speaking out now?
I feel that Islamism is going to be defeated. This is what I feel. And I feel also it is a big responsibility. This is the main reason, to be honest with you, toward mankind to explain what is happening. And also I noticed many people are interpreting things in their own way from the Westerner point of view. And when Muslims try to explain it to you, unfortunately, I believe that the majority do not tell you the truth. So I felt the truth about the whole issue will be lost unless some people who stood against the phenomena of Islamic fundamentalism before September 11th, I stood against it and my life was threatened. I was not doing it for any gain, okay? So I feel it is a responsibility toward you, toward mankind, toward Muslims even.
Is your life still in danger?
Certainly, you will be endangered as long as you speak about these issues. Where
you live, you have changed your name. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you don't disclose where you live. Is that correct? Also?
No. I am not interested into this.
Yeah. Are you a practicing Muslim?
I understand Islam in my own way, and as I mentioned in the book, I am a Muslim by birth, Christian by the spirit, Jew by heart, and above all, I am a human being. So this is how you can define me at the moment.